This one's just a handful. And in the wild, they'll actually walk around the reef hunting food at low tide. Yeah, isn't that amazing? They'll walk. Look at how they use those fins just like a Mexican walking fish.
As long as their gills stay wet, they can survive out of the water for hours at a time. These little guys range from 1 day up to 12 months old. This particular one's about 9 months old.
It's time to release the oldest kids from the nursery out into the ocean, out into the wild. We're taking 3 of the ones who've reached the right size and we're taking them out into the coral sea off the southern Queensland coast.
We're making sure there's a mixture of male and female to encourage normal behavior and breeding in the area where they're released.
Underwater World is currently breeding about 600 sharks per year. They've had so much success that they're now releasing eggs as well as hatchlings back into the wild. They've had a fantastic result with hundreds upon hundreds of cat sharks. And they're also breeding grey nurse, leopard sharks, wobbegongs and the famous Port Jackson sharks.
They only ever release a few sharks in any one location. That gives them the best chance of survival. Usually, we take them out on one of the coral reefs in the Pacific Ocean. But this time, the weather's too rough, so we'll find a suitable habitat closer to the coast.
Banded bamboo sharks spend a lot of their life on the seabed, foraging for small fish, worms, and other invertebrates. You'll find them living in water ranging from only a few feet down to over 200 feet. I'm going to take them right to the bottom. That way, they'll have a great chance of beating the odds, because everything likes to eat baby sharks. If we let them swim from the top, they'll have to run the gauntlet from a whole range of predators, including other sharks. So it's best I take them right down to the bottom.
Very little is known about sharks, but a lot of species are under pressure, and some are definitely endangered. The techniques being perfected in breeding programs like this are starting to be applied to the more difficult job of breeding up some of the rare sharks.
I'm having the time of my life, releasing these new little babies into their new home. And with any luck, I'll get to see them when they're adults in years to come. Good luck, little ones. The first time you see a whale shark, you get a massive adrenaline rush. Not only are they the biggest shark in the ocean, but they're also the biggest fish in the world. Even though you know they're harmless, you get a real sense of awesome power getting close to one. The sight of this enormous shark slowly appearing out of the distance is incredible. And when you're in the water with them, they just ignore you. You might as well not even be there.
Whale sharks commonly grow to more than 36 feet or 12 meters, and they're so big they're often mistaken for whales. They cruise right around the tropical waters of Australia with their mouths wide open, continuously feeding on plankton and schools of tiny fish. It's amazing, the world's biggest fish surviving by eating some of the smallest creatures in the sea. Whale sharks are the gentle giants of the ocean, absolutely harmless to just about everything in the water, including us. These magnificent creatures are surrounded by mystery. No one knows how long they live, exactly how they reproduce, or how far they actually travel in a lifetime searching for tiny particles of food.
Sometimes the most dangerous thing about swimming with sharks are the other creatures you don't notice until you're right on top of them.
Steve surfaced in the middle of a huge mass of jellyfish and had nowhere else to go. He had to swim through them. They feed by stinging their prey to death, and there were thousands of them.
Even though a few stings won't do me much harm, so many tentacles brushing against me irritated and stung every bit of exposed flesh. By the time I got back to the boat, I was really feeling the effects and couldn't wait to get out of the water. I'd do anything to swim with whale sharks. These jellyfish aren't all that much of a problem, but they're burning the living daylights out of me. Yo, check this out.
Our adventure with Sharks Down Under took us from the tropics to the icy cold waters of the Southern Ocean. We're off the south coast of Tasmania, prime country for great white sharks, the most feared man-eater in the ocean. The steep drop-off next to these rocks is one of Australia's most diverse cold water marine environments.
It's a spot known as the kelp gardens, and we expect to find sharks. They're right at the top of the food chain in this rich underwater forest. I'm not all that accustomed to wearing a wetsuit, but it's freezing cold down here, so I didn't have much of a choice.
Masses of kelp are a perfect habitat for a really diverse range of life. The bait fish get protection from the kelp forest, and the predators are here to search them out and eat them.
That's a banded stingaree. It's got a sharp poisonous spike near the end of its tail. If it gets you, the spike can break off in the wound and you'll need to get surgery. But just look at those markings. What a beautiful fish.
Now this guy's all arched up to make himself look big and fierce. He's saying, "Get out of my territory." It's a member of the cat shark group, known as a draftboard shark. And like most of his family, he's harmless unless you get too close.
Sharks are wild animals, and they should be treated with a lot of respect. So there's things you'll see on this adventure that you should never try yourself. Even species like this normally harmless cat shark can attack and bite if they feel threatened. So with sharks, always keep your distance. He's tough as nails, and even though he feels his territory's been invaded, he reckons the best thing to do is sit on the bottom and sit still. Leopard sharks. Now, the leopard shark has got really big, sturdy body and that spotted pattern. You can see why they're called leopards. Have a look.
Leopard sharks are mainly night hunters. They spend most of the day resting on the bottom, and they won't even look like hurting you unless you deliberately start pestering them.
One of my most anxious moments was when I tried to save the life of a leopard shark. He didn't understand that I was his friend.
Those floats are holding up a deep running net designed to protect the nearby beaches from shark attacks. Many Australian surfing beaches are protected by nets, and they've certainly cut the numbers of dangerous sharks.
Netting in Australia is often quite controversial. As well as dangerous sharks, an enormous number of harmless animals also become victims. In just one state, in 1 year, they killed thousands of turtles, dolphins and dugong, as well as a staggering 10,000 stingrays, and a lot of harmless sharks. There, bait, sit.
Yep.
Got it?
Got it.
We're going. I got it.
Okay.